Anyone home? I could use a place to spend the night actually, it's starting to get late. No? Fine, I'll walk alone in the dark then. Hello? Sounds like someone is home.
You there! Stop where you are!
No?
Today you die! Jump on my sword while you can! This ends here!
Whoa! Oh, what's the matter? Is the baby gonna cry?
Immortal Blood. I'll read this a little later while traveling. What the? It's pretty late, so I'll spend the night here. Okay, I'm back at the inn, and there's my horse. Let's find this necromancer she wanted me to kill. That's an unpleasant place to sleep.
Who's there? Huh? Damn rats. Always skirting around in the shadow.
I waste so many lockpicks.
Nothing to worry about, I guess.
Jump.
Just my eyes playing tricks on me.
Gods, I suck. Gotcha. The Book of Daedra. I won't read it now, but I'll take it for later.
What's that? Guess it was nothing. Damn rats, always skirting around in the shadows, making me jumpy.
Sorry, Raylan, but I'm getting paid for this. She keeps parrying me. I've slain Raylan the Gravefinder. I should return to Mullane at the inn.
This ends here.
I want shiny things, not so fussed about the plate. Excellent, job done.
What is
What
it?
is it?
I assume you've dealt with Raylan appropriately.
If by that you mean stabbing her in the face, then yes.
I realize it's in poor taste to celebrate anyone's demise, but Raylan was evil through and through. You've done the right thing. I believe we had a contract. Here's my part.
Is that it? Alright, thank you, Melaine.
Hello
Thank
there.
you for saving my business.
How are you?
I won't. It can't be.
Fantastic. Thanks
No
for
doubt.
asking.
Please
Have
the
you seen
nine.
Righty, it's about time we got to Kvatch to get this Martin guy for Joffrey. Since Coral is sort of on the way, we can stop off there first and see how those brothers are doing. I've only just now realized the pun of this place's name. All's well, well it is now. I've reached the road that leads off to Coral, but it's actually a lot earlier than I expected it to be. It's only 1:30 p.m. I'm gonna continue on south instead. I'll go back to Coral after I've collected Martin. Immortal Blood, by Anonymous. The moons and stars were hidden from sight, making that particular quiet night especially dark. The town guard had to carry torches to make their rounds, but the man who came to call at my chapel carried no light with him. I came to learn that Movarth Peking could see in the dark almost as well as the light, an excellent talent, considering his interests were exclusively nocturnal. One of my acolytes brought him to me, and from the look of him, I at first thought he was in need of healing. He was pale to the point of opalescence, with a face that looked like it had once been very handsome before some unspeakable suffering. The dark circles under his eyes bespoke exhaustion, but the eyes themselves were alert, intense, almost insane. He quickly dismissed my notion that he himself was ill, though he did want to discuss a specific disease. Vampirism, he said, and then paused at my quizzical look. I was told that you were someone I should seek out for help understanding it. Who told you that? I asked with a smile. Tissina Grey. I immediately remembered her, a brave, beautiful knight who had needed my assistance separating fact from fiction on the subject of the vampire. It had been 2 years, and I had never heard whether my advice had proved effective. You've spoken to her? How is her ladyship? I asked. Dead, Movarth replied coldly, and then, responding to my shock, he added to perhaps soften the blow. She said your advice was invaluable, at least for the one vampire. When last I talked to her, she was tracking another. It killed her, then the advice I gave her was not enough, I sighed. Why do you think it would be enough for you? I was a teacher once myself, years ago, he said. Not in a university, a trainer in the Fighters Guild. But I know that if a student doesn't ask the right questions, the teacher cannot be responsible for his failure. I intend to ask you the right questions, and that he did. For hours, he asked questions and I answered what I could, but he never volunteered any information about himself. He never smiled. He only studied me with those intense eyes of his, committing every word I said to memory. Finally, I turned the questioning around. You said you were a trainer at the Fighters Guild. Are you on an assignment for them? No, he said curtly, and finally I could detect some weariness in those feverish eyes of his. I would like to continue this tomorrow night, if I could. I need to get some sleep and absorb this. You sleep during the day, I smiled. To my surprise, he returned the smile, though it was more of a grimace. When tracking your prey, you adapt their habits. The next day, he did return with more questions, these ones very specific. He wanted to know about the vampires of Eastern Skyrim. I told him about the most powerful tribe, the Volkihar, paranoid and cruel, whose very breath could freeze their victims' blood in the veins. I explained to him how they lived beneath the ice of remote and haunted lakes, never venturing into the world of men except to feed. Movarth Pekin listened carefully and asked more questions into the night until at last he was ready to leave. I will not see you for a few days, he said. But I will return and tell you how helpful your information has been. True to his word, the man returned to my chapel shortly after midnight 4 days later. There was a fresh scar on his cheek, but he was smiling that grim but satisfied smile of his. Your advice helped me very much, he said. But you should know that the Volkihar have an additional ability you didn't mention. They can reach through the ice of their lakes without breaking it. It was quite a nasty surprise, being grabbed from below without any warning. How remarkable, I said with a laugh. And terrifying. You're lucky you survived. I don't believe in luck. I believe in knowledge and training. Your information helped me, and my skill at melee combat sealed the bloodsucker's fate. I've never believed in weaponry of any kind. Too many unknowns. Even the best swordsmith has created a flawed blade, but you know what your body is capable of. I know I can land 1,000 blows without losing my balance, provided I get the first strike, I murmured. So you must never be surprised, that is why I came to you, said Movarth. You know more than anyone alive about these monsters, in all their cursed varieties across the land. Now you must tell me about the vampires of Northern Valenwood. I did as he asked, and once again, his questions taxed my knowledge. There were many tribes to cover. The Bonsamu, who were indistinguishable from Bosma except when seen by candlelight. The Kirilth, who could disintegrate into mist. The Yakef, who swallowed men whole. The dread Telbeth, who preyed on children, eventually taking their place in the family, waiting patiently for years before murdering them all in their unnatural hunger. Once again, he bade me farewell, promising to return in a few weeks, and once again, he returned as he said, just after midnight. This time, Movarth had no fresh scars, but he again had new information. You were wrong about the Kirilth being unable to vaporize when pushed underwater, he said, patting my shoulder fondly. Fortunately, they cannot travel far in their mist form, and I was able to track it down. It must have surprised it fearfully. Your field knowledge is becoming impressive, I said. I should have had an acolyte like you decades ago. Now, tell me, he said. Of the vampires of Cyrodiil, I told him what I could. There was but one tribe in Cyrodiil, a powerful clan who had ousted all other competitors, much like the Imperials themselves had done. Their true name was unknown, lost in history, but they were experts at concealment. If they kept themselves well fed, they were indistinguishable from living persons. They were cultured, more civilized than the vampires of the provinces, preferring to feed on victims while they were asleep, unaware. They will be difficult to surprise, Movarth frowned. But I will seek one out, and tell you what I learn. And then you will tell me of the vampires of High Rock, and Hammerfell, and elsewhere, and Black Marsh, and Morrowind, and the Somerset Isles, yes? I nodded, knowing then that this was a man on an eternal quest. He wouldn't be satisfied with but the barest hint of how things were. He needed to know it all. He did not return for a month, and on the night that he did, I could see his frustration and despair, though there were no lights burning in my chapel. I failed, he said, as I lit a candle. You were right. I could not find a single one. I brought the light up to my face and smiled. He was surprised, even stunned by the pallor of my flesh, the dark hunger in my ageless eyes, and the teeth. Oh, yes, I think the teeth definitely surprised the man who could not afford to be surprised. I haven't fed in 72 hours, I explained, as I fell on him. He did not land the first blow or the last. Wow, so the vampire had a chapel, and I immediately think about the massacre in the Anvil Chapel. Could it be related? Was it a vampire that killed everyone there? I need to make sure I check that out at some point. For now though, we've made it to Skingrad. It's on the way to Kvatch, pretty close to it actually. I've never been here, so let's check it out.
All right then, I'm listening.
You're new here in Skingrad? Fine. I'll make sure the captain knows we have a stranger in town. Please, keep your weapons sheathed and use your best manners. We're a bit suspicious of strangers here. Don't give us anything to be suspicious about, will you please?
Of course, I always behave myself.
Farewell.
I like the color scheme, it's very me. There's an inn here. I'll probably want to spend the night here before going to Kvatch.
Blade and bone, speak to me.
Okay,
Yes?
I'm new here. Any suggestions?
What do people do here? In town, shopkeepers, smiths, priests, the usual. Fighters and mages guild. The rest are farmers or herders. Wines are a Skingrad specialty, and the Cyrodiil and Tamika vineyards are famous all over Cyrodiil. Have a good day now.
Let's check out the bakery, I guess.
A sweet roll? But of course, Salmo is famous for his sweet rolls. One taste, and you are in heaven. On top of the world, yes?
Hey, I'd go to prison for a sweet roll.
I could never leave Skingrad. All my good friends here would die without my sweet rolls. The rest of the world must suffer as best it can without me.
Sucks for them, I guess.
You too.
Weird bakery. What exactly is the difference between a lodge and an inn? This looks cozy. Hey, nice place.
Annoying creature.
Excuse me?
I'm Ma Gramogak, proprietor of Two Sisters Lodge. My sister and I own the place. Two sisters, see? Need a bed? Good food?
Where's your sister?
My sister, Ugak Gramogak, runs the Grateful Pass stables. She's the quiet one. I'm the talker.
She sounds more pleasant than you then.
Stop talking.
What is your problem? Nothing good.
Well met.
This is the gate I avoided earlier. I was trying to find a way up there, assuming it was the entrance. And there's a bridge there as well? I wonder how I get up.
Oh, hello. What's the news from
How
the other
goes
parts
it?
of Tamriel? They say syndicates of wizards have led a boycott of imperial goods in the land of the Altman.
Over here!
Spare a coin.
Yes, you. We can't talk here. Too public. Meet me behind the great chapel at midnight. Don't let anyone follow you. I'll make it worth your while.
Hi, well met. Heard any news from the other provinces? They say syndicates of wizards have led a boycott of imperial
Okay.
goods in the land of the Altman.
I'm guessing this is the Great Chapel.
Somerset Isle has become a much more dangerous place. Take care.
Evening, ma'am. You too.
Ah, this is the bridge. And it must lead up there.
Hello.
Evening. It's actually a shame that I need the crosshair to see if I'm stealing something. The crosshair is annoying. Everything's locked up, maybe I should come back in the daytime? Hey, watch this. Crosshair, no crosshair. Crosshair, no crosshair.
Yes?
Oh, an alchemy shop. Which is closed. Makes sense at this time of night.
Well met.
Let's hear it.
10:40, still got some time before I meet that paranoid guy.
I'm Valandra Sabur, Primate of Julianus. You may address me as Your Eminence.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Hey, do you know Glerthir? He approached me earlier.
I don't trust you enough to talk about that.
Okay, well, can you tell me about Skingrad?
A primate has better things to do than provide tourist information. Beggars have plenty of time on their hands. I'm sure you'll have much in common.
I don't like you.
Take care.
Hello. We haven't met, have we? I'm Sister Marie Paliella, a chapel healer and trainer in the restoration arts.
Do you know Glerthir?
I don't mean to gossip, but he is more than a bit strange. However, he's always been tolerated as a town eccentric.
What do you think about Skingrad?
The town is very nice, but I advise you to get out and see the countryside. The vineyards and farms, pastures and sheepfolds. Lovely mountain country.
Yeah, the vineyards looked pretty nice when I rode in.
Good day.
It's Blessings of the Nine. My name is Tumendil. I'm the chapel priest. I'm sure you can find your way around the chapel by yourself. Farewell.
I don't like ghosts. Oh geez, who's this? Hi there.
A little bird told me that you've been asking around town about Glarther, a resident eccentric. I'd like to know why.
Okay, now I'm paranoid as well. Just curious is all.
Fine, play it that way. Let me give you some friendly advice. Glarther is crazy. Maybe harmless crazy, maybe not. Don't get involved with him. If he asks you to do anything strange, you come see me first. Got it? Or any of the town guard. Let us handle it.
Yeah, okay, definitely making me paranoid. Well, bloody hell, thanks a lot. Abort. Midnight, alright, let's see what Glarther wants.
Ah, you came! You're sure you weren't followed? Good. I thought I could trust you. Nobody else in town. They're all in on it. All watching me. Well, yes, I need you to do something for me. I'll pay you gold. You like gold, don't you? Lots of gold.
Yes, sir.
Here's my problem. I'm being followed. Watched. Marukotti selectives, maybe. Not sure. I'm a threat, you see, to their plans. I know too much. I need you to check out some people for me. The ones who are following me. Watch them. See where they go. Who they report to. Will you help me?
Well, that guard is certainly watching you. Sure, he'll help.
Very good. You won't be sorry. I'll pay you well. Did I say that already?
Yes, you did.
Let's start with Bernadette Penniless. Be outside my house at 6 a.m. You'll see her watching me. See where she goes and who she reports to. We'll meet here again tomorrow night. Oh, and never contact me in public. They're watching. They can't know you're helping me.
Who's Bernadette Penniless?
Her house is almost directly across the street from mine, southwest of the Great Chapel. Coincidence? I don't think so. Remember, Bernadette Penniless, 6 a.m. Don't let her see you watching.
Okay. You're going that way, I'll go this way then. We never met.
It's you. Hi.